How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, or Unknown Coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. But still crazy here because I'm recording this on the same day as the last episode. And as always, y'all, if you do want access to the private repository, there's a link in the description down below that'll walk you through exactly how to gain access to that. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and hop into what we're working on today. Today, we're going to go ahead and start working on the next component that goes inside of our custom feed view, which is going to be this view list information. It's going to be a component that goes ahead and displays like the header, some other information, and some buttons that you can click to do some extra logic. So with that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and get to work. This one's also going to be a little bit of a longer one because it's a pretty big component. So go ahead and get ready, strap in, and let's hop into the code. Once again, inside the code, we're going to go ahead and create the component. So let's go and open up our Explorer, and inside of our list components, let's go ahead and say view list information / view list information.tsx. Also go ahead and make a view list information.css. Let's go and hop into here. Let's go and import React from React. We'll also go ahead and import our /, and this will be our view list information.css. This one isn't going to take in any props, so just go and export const and view list information. This is a react.fc and arrow function. So let's go ahead and set that up. And then inside, we'll go ahead and return. Here, we'll have a div with a class name equal to, and we'll call this view-list-information. Looks good. Now we need a lot of state and some logic to deal with. So first we'll say const logged in, and we'll also say token is equal to use selector. And here we're going to go ahead and say state root state. And this is going to go and be state packet type state.user. And I lied, there is actually one piece of props on here. So we're going to go ahead and have our list, which is a custom feed or undefined. So I kind of looked over that. There we go. We'll have our list here. So now we do have all of our states. And we also are going to have a const dispatch here. That's going to be an app dispatch equal to use dispatch. Import that. Finally, we'll have a const navigate equal to use navigate, and do that. Then we need a const and hovering following, and set maybe hovering following is equal to a use state. And then here we'll go and say boolean, and this will start out as false. Then let's go ahead and do some utility functions. So const logged in following and list is equal to an arrow function. Here we're going to say return list dot followers dot sum, and put u in there. We're going to say u.user id is equal to our logged in dot user id. So we're check to see if the user is inside of the following list. Also go and say const logged in is creator. If this is the case, we'll do an arrow function here, and inside we'll say return logged in dot user id equal to and list dot creator dot user id. Those are utilities. Then we need to go ahead and deal with some more logic. So next we'll say const handle follow or unfollow clicked. You could do an arrow function with an e react.mouse event on an HTML, and this one's going to be a button. So HTML HTML, there we go, button element, import that, set up our arrow function. Here we're going to e.stop propagation just for good measures. Then we're going to check to see if list and logged in, maybe logged, can't type in, and we're going to check to make sure we have our token. If that's the case, we're going to go ahead and dispatch, and we're going to go ahead and dispatch f follow, follow, and I screwed this up. I always do this. Let's make sure we don't screw this up. Follow or unfollow list. And then inside of this one, we can go ahead and say list ID is list.id. Our user is logged in, and then pass our token. Below, let's go ahead and set up a const. It's going to be open edit list, which is going to be a fun one to make. The modal, not this, react.mouse event. Here, this is HTML, and this one will also be a button element. like so. And here it's going to e.stop propagation for good measure. And for the time being, we're going to console.log. And it's going to say to do and set up logic to open the list when ready. So we have to do a little bit more logic and work here. It's not going to be ready for this episode. So let's just put a to do message there. Const handle and members clicked equal to e and whoops, I don't know what happened there. Let's fix this. E react.mouse event. This one's on an HTML div element. So I do this and this. Here we're going to e.stop propagation. Then we're going to check to see if we have a list. And if our list is loaded, we're going to go ahead and dispatch and our update list state. Inside here, we're going to go ahead and say property. And the property is going to go ahead and be list users to display. Hopefully we typed that properly this time. And then the value will be list.members. Then let's go ahead and come below here. And we're also going to go ahead and dispatch. Once again, we're going to dispatch update. Whoops. Update, maybe. Update display. And this one is going to be list members. And then we need to basically do the same thing for followers. Let's go ahead and say const, not like that. Oh my goodness, const handle. And can't type followers clicked is equal to an e. Oh my goodness, e react.mouse event on HTML and div element. If I could type, and I spelled HTML wrong again. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a complete disaster. Div element like so. And then once again, we're going to e.stop propagation. And then we'll check if list once again and dispatch. We'll go ahead and dispatch update list state. And we'll go ahead and pass in an object with property equal to list users to display. And the value will be list.followers. And then let's come below this dispatch. Also go ahead and dispatch. And this one would be update display, maybe list followers, and call that one. So that should be all of our actions and state here. We need to go ahead and put all of these to use and set up our actual HTML. So once again, this one is a pretty big component with a little bit of logic. So we're going to say first list and logged in, and we're going to go ahead and add a question mark here. And then let's go ahead and have our empty fragment. And then if it's not logged in, we're going to go ahead and have a circular progress. So let's go ahead and set that up. So circular progress here, size will equal to 20, and then SX equal to, and then we're going to go have color, and the color is going to be pound 1D A1 and F2, which reminds me, I don't remember which component we worked on a couple days ago. Maybe more than a couple of days ago, but I put in the wrong color. I put in QD. I need to go ahead and look for that later on. But inside of our fragment, if we have a list and logged in, let's go ahead and have a div. Oops, that's not what we do, a div with a class name equal to, if I could type, that'd be cool. It's going to be view list dash information dash banner. Gonna have a style equal to, and this part's gonna be fun, background image. And let's make sure you spell background image right, colon, backticks, and I hate doing these, URL, parentheses, and then we need a set of these, and then $ curly brace, list, and we're gonna say list dot image question mark dot image URL, and then otherwise we're gonna go ahead and do or an empty string. So I think that I did that properly. We just need to make sure we have this inside of curly braces. I believe I got that in there properly. We'll see whenever the image decides to load or not load. That one's pretty tricky. It's always annoying trying to do background images. Also have a div with a class name equal to view dash list dash information dash, and then here we're gonna have our name. Here we're just gonna go ahead and say list dot name like so. Below this div, and that should actually be an H2, not a div. So let's make this an H2 and make this an H2. Below this H2, we're gonna go ahead and have a list dot description, and actually we need to make sure it's not equal to an empty string, and then and. So if we have a list dot description, we're gonna go ahead and have a p tag with a class name equal to view dash list dash information dash and then description. Whoops, description. And then inside, we're just going to go ahead and have our list.description like so. Let's come out of this. And then we're going to go and have a div with a class name equal to, and here view dash list dash information dash creator. Inside the creator, we're going to have a profile picture, import that. Inside profile picture, user is going to be list.creator. And then we're going to go and have the size, whoops, size equal to 24px. So 24px. There we go. Under profile picture with P, class name, maybe, equal to, and here we're going to have our view dash list dash information dash and then creator dash nickname. And then on click is going to equal to, and I never set up this navigate the profile. I don't know where I missed it at, but we need to go ahead and set that up. And here we're just go ahead and say list.creator dash nickname. Let's go ahead and set up this navigate the profile that I apparently missed somewhere. It's not even in my list of things to do here, so I really just straight up missed it somehow. So let's gonna go ahead and come here, const navigate to profile, and we'll go ahead and make this an arrow function e react, whoops, dot mouse event, I suppose, on an HTML, and this is on a p tag. I think it's a paragraph element. E dot stop propagation. Then we'll go ahead and navigate, and I forget where this is to. I think it's just a slash and $, curly brace, user. Is it user? What is this? List question mark creator dot username. And then maybe we'll do or an empty string. There we go. Now we have our navigate the profile. I think that's how we do it. I don't remember. So now underneath the p tag, we're going to go ahead and have another p tag with a class name equal to view dash list dash information dash and then username. Once again, we're going to go and have an at and then list dot creator, whoops, dot username. Let's come outside of our creator div. Let's have another div. Here we have a class, whoops, class name equal to view dash list dash information dash creator. And this one's going to be a mouthful. Creator dash members dash followers dash and then container. Inside of here, we're going to have a div with a class name equal to view dash list dash and then maybe information. And then this shouldn't be creator. This should just be members or followers. Information dash. I don't know why I put creator there. So I guess we'll just keep creator. It's not supposed to say creator, but I don't want to break everything. Creator dash and then members dash followers. Inside of members followers, we're going to go ahead and have an on click on this. So let's go ahead and not forget that. On click on this one is going to be handle members clicked. Go and bring that in. So here we're going to go and have something called convert count. It's going to come from a post utils just like that. And this is going to be list.members. Make sure I spell members right. Dot length. And then inside of this convert count, or not out inside this convert count, below the convert count, we're going to have a span. Class name equal to, and this is going to be view dash list dash and then information dash creator dash and then members member dash followers dash light. And here we have this so scuffed, but I'm just going to say members. And then what I'm going to do is I'm lazy, so I'm just going to go and copy this so that the CSS is the exact same and I don't break everything. I'm going to go and paste it in there and do one of these. So now instead of handle members clicked, it's going to be handle and followers clicked. So followers clicked. Okay, and then here instead of list.members, it's going to be list.followers. And then here instead of members, it's going to say followers. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Followers, there we go. Now let's come outside of our members followers. We're going to go ahead and say logged in is creator and question mark. And then let's go ahead and have a button. Whoops. So if they are the creator of a button, class name equal to view list information dash button dash outlined. Okay, on click is going to equal to and open edit list like so. And then in here, we're just going to go and have an edit list. So edit list like so, and this should be uppercase. And then otherwise, let's go ahead and have a fragment like so. And then inside the fragment, we're going to have curly braces, and this is going to be logged in is following list or logged in following list. And then question mark once again. We need to do some fun stuff here. So then we're going to have a button, and inside the button, we'll have an ID. ID equal to view dash list dash information dash unfollow dash button. A class name equal to view list information information dash button dash outlined. Then we're going to go and have an on click. Make sure you spell on click right. On click is equal to handle follow or unfollow clicked on mouse over. We're going to go ahead and equal to an arrow function, and the arrow function is going to set hovering and to true, hovering following to true. I don't know what I messed up here. I typoed something. And of course it does that. Let me clean this up. Okay, and we still need to do one more thing in here. So then we'll go ahead and open this up one more time. We also want to go ahead and do on mouse leave. On mouse leave is going to equal to, once again, an arrow function, and then this is going to be set hovering following to false. And then inside this button, we're going to go and have a hovering following question mark, and then if that's the case, we're going to say unfollow. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and say following, and then we need to go ahead and set up another button. So button here, and then once again, we'll go ahead and set a class name equal to and view maybe view dash list dash information dash, and then this one's button dash filled, maybe. There we go, button filled. And then this one has an on click on it equal to handle follow or unfollow clicked. Then let's go and open this button up a little bit too far there, and then inside this button we'll go ahead and say follow. Okay, so everything is compiling, so that is a good sign. That doesn't mean that I put all this together properly, but we don't have any issues or errors, so that's at least a good start in the right direction. So now we need to go through and unfortunately style all this, which is going to be a little bit of fun and a little bit of not fun. So let's go ahead and hop into the CSS and start styling. And here I'll start out with dot and view dash list dash information. Inside of view list information, width will be set to 100%, and the height will be fit dash content. Next, we'll go and say padding on the bottom. Bottom is going to be 16px. Also put a border on the bottom, maybe. Border on the bottom will be 1px solid. And then we're going to say pound AAB8 and C2. Next, we'll go ahead and say display of flex and flex, maybe flex dash direction of column. Here we're going to say justify content in the flex start, and then align items in the center, and we want a row gap on this, row gap of 16px. Next up, we'll say dot view dash list dash, and then information dash banner width 100%. Once again, we're going to set the height to 193px. 193px, and we're going to set a background dash color on this if it doesn't load in to pound E1 E8 E8 and ED, just in case it doesn't load for whatever reason. We're gonna have a background dash and then repeat. Maybe let me fix this as well, and then this is going to be no dash repeat, and I broke our CSS, so let's fix that. Then we need to go ahead and have a background dash position, and background position is going to be center and center. And then finally we have a background background dash size, and this is going to go ahead and be cover. So that should deal with our banner picture, and hopefully it actually shows up. View list information dash name. So here we want to go and set the margin to 0, the padding to 0 maybe, and then a font dash size to 20 px, and a font dash weight is going to be 600. After this, we'll have our dot view dash list dash information dash description. So if I have a description, we'll go and say margin is 0, padding is 0, font dash size of 15 px, and a font dash weight of 400. Next, we'll say dot view dash list dash information dash and creator. Inside our creator, we're going to say display of flex. We'll go ahead and justify content in the center and an align items in the center, and finally a gap of 4 px. After our creator, we have a dot view dash list dash information creator dash and then nickname. Inside our nickname, margin 0, padding of 0, and then we'll have a font dash size for this one of 15 px, and a font dash weight of 600. 600. Then we need our dot view dash list dash information dash creator dash, and this one needs a hover, so nickname hover. Here we're gonna go cursor, cursor, a pointer, and then a text dash decoration of underline. Then we'll have our dot view list information dash, and then of course I forgot the creator on the username. I don't think I did though. Creator dash username. Let's go and check that inside the TSX. So in the TSX, oh, I did forget the username or the creator. So let's go ahead and say information creator dash username. Hop back into CSS. So there we go. Looks good. So here margin will be set to 0. Padding will of course be set to 0. And inside of our username, we're going to say font, font maybe dash size will be 15 px. Font dash weight is going to be 400. And then finally, we're going to go and say color as pound 657786. Let's make some more space for ourselves here. Next, let's go ahead and declare our view dash list dash information dash, and here we have creator dash members dash and followers container. I shouldn't include the creator there, but it is what it is. Display flex. We're going to justify content in the center. We're going to align items in the center, and we're going to have center and center, and we're going to have a gap of 16 px. Then we have our dot view dash list dash information dash creator dash, and here this one says member dash followers, like so. Let's actually make sure we spell member right. Member dash followers. Inside here, we're going to display and flex. Justify content in the flex start. We're going to align items in the center. We're going to have a gap of 2 px, and then a font dash size of 14 px, and a font dash dash weight of 600. Then we're going to go ahead and have our dot view dash list dash information maybe dash creator, I can't type, dash member dash followers colon hover. Here cursor maybe cursor will be pointer, and then we're going to go and have a text dash decoration again, and text decoration is going to be underlined. And then we have our dot view dash list dash information creator dash member dash followers dash, and then here we have our light. There's supposed to be text there, so we might have some things to debug here, hopefully not. Font dash weight is going to be 400, and then we're going to go and have a color color of pound 657786. Next, our view dash list information dash, and then button dash outlined. Here height is going to be 36 px. Padding will be 0 16 px. Display will be flex. And then we'll go ahead and justify content in the center, align items in the center. Here we're going to go ahead and say font dash size is 15 px, font dash weight is 600, and then we're going to say border of 1 px solid and black. border dash radius is going to go ahead and be 18 px. And finally, we're going to have a background, maybe background dash color of white. Next, we need to go ahead and do the dot view dash list dash information. And this one is button dash outlined colon hover. So on hover, we're going to go ahead and have a cursor pointer. And we're going to go ahead and say background dash maybe color is RGBA 0,0,0 and then 0.05. Next, we'll go ahead and have our pound view dash list maybe dash information. I can't type dash and then unfollow button. Here cursor will be pointer, and then we're going to go ahead and have a color of red and a border of 1 px solid, and this is going to be red, and this needs to actually be hover. So let's go ahead and say colon hover like so, and let's also say pound. I think that's actually it there, and then dot view dash list dash information dash button dash filled. And I have a feeling that I scuffed a lot of stuff here, so bear with me. My throat is really starting to get to me here. Trying to get through this as much as I can, but if I made a couple typos, bear with me and we'll go back through and fix them. Height is going to be 36 px once again. Padding will be 0 and 16 px. Then we're going to have a display of flex and a justify content in the center and align items in the center. Oops, align items center, and then we're going to font dash size 15 px. We're going to have a font dash weight, and this will be 600. We have a border dash radius. Here it will be 16 or 18 px. Background dash color is going to go ahead and be black maybe, and the color be white. Let's also make sure we have border none on this so we don't have some ugly some border that's ugly. Border none. And then finally dot view dash list dash information dash, and then button dash button dash filled hover. Last one, cursor is pointer, and then we're going to go ahead and have a background dash color, and inside our background color RGBA, and this is 0,0,0, and we're going to say 0.9 because it's already black. Okay, so that was fun or not fun. We might have to go through and copy CSS from the TSX file straight into here to make sure nothing's broken. But before we do that, let's go and hop into our custom feed view, put this in, and just make sure there's no typos inside the CSS class files. Inside our custom feed view, let's go ahead and get rid of this placeholder fragment. I'm going to say view list information. And that's a good start. It's not even showing up. Let's see what's going on here. I thought I called it view list information. View list information.tsx. Did I not export it? Double check this. I did. I think it's just being a silly willy, I guess. And let's just go ahead and try to import it like so. There we go. Okay, it's just being a silly willy. Here, we'll go ahead and say that list is equal to our selected list. And now I'm honestly terrified of opening this up because I feel like there's going to be so many issues. This morning's been pretty rough. Let's go ahead and hop into the browser and just see what it's looking like. So our image is not loading. That's what I was concerned about. I don't think that the members or followers are working, so that's great. I think this part is fine though. I think this is how it's supposed to look. We typoed something inside of this because this should at least have, we go ahead and inspect and go into our console or network and give this a refresh here and look at the to response. And this should have an image. So you see that we have the image URL. So that should be there. I think I'd probably just copy paste it or typo it or something. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat. I'm going to copy and paste what the style is supposed to be. And let's hop back into this component. So in our view list information, let's go ahead and scroll down here. I went ahead and copied what the style is supposed to be for this background image. I just typoed something here. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste it in and we can take a look at what's different. I don't see much difference, but something's obviously different there. Let's go and take a look again to make sure this is showing up. There we go, that's much better. I think this part is fine. I also think that this part is fine. I don't know if clicking on this is going to go to where it's supposed to. It does, so that's good. Cool. So now members and followers is obviously broken, so we need to go ahead and deal with that. This should also be fine. We click on these at least work. So that's good. So let's see what's going on with these. I'm just gonna probably go and copy paste the CSS for these. I'm assuming that's what the issue is. So in here, let's see here. So I don't think that has to do with this guy. I think it has to do with either this one. So let's go ahead and copy this view list information, creator, members, followers. Let's go ahead and hop back into CSS. And let's go ahead and scroll up here. It was something like this. So I think this one is supposed to be members, followers. Go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and also do this and copy paste this. That's what I was worried about with so many styles and stuff. And oops, I copied the other one whenever it pasted. Let's try again. There we go, looks better. Unfortunately, 0 members, 0 followers. I think these are supposed to be side by side, so it's still not quite working. So this container, I think, is still broken. Oh, you know what? I wasn't supposed to copy both of these. Let's go ahead and delete this extra container. So we're going to delete this div here. And we're going to delete the div above it, like so. Those are supposed to be together. I copied too much. Let's take another peek. It looks a lot better. There we go. That's what that's supposed to look like. Now, if we follow it, did it fail? It didn't fail, but it didn't update for some reason. We'll go and refresh. We might need to look into that. Now it says following. Click on it again. So I can look into that. I don't know why it's not updating immediately, but it is following and unfollowing, so that's good. And that looked how we wanted it to. I thought this was working previously, but maybe I was wrong. Members looks good. Let's go and go back. Let's go to our test list. We can edit list. Obviously, if we click on this, nothing's going to happen. But I think that's basically everything. I can look into why the following and unfollowing isn't automatically updating. I don't think that we need a use effect there, but we might with the way that it's calling the logged in following list. So I might need to look into that. But I thought at one point when I looked at this, it was actually working. So maybe I'm just going crazy. But I think with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We are showing the information that we want. It's looking pretty good. Actually, let me double check to make sure this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm pretty sure it is, but I just want to double check. Yes, it is. Okay, so yeah, we're looking pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode here. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps out here with the YouTube algorithm. And also one like helps me heal a lot better so that whenever I go to record the next episode, I don't sound like crap. But that being said, y'all, hope you did enjoy. This has been Ethan, a random coder, and I'll see you all in the next video.